As one of the most exciting sports there is, basketball has approximately 400 million fans across the globe. And with NBA season 2020-2021 on its final stretch,
fans and viewers are glued to their seats and making their bets on who will emerge as the victor for the 75th season of NBA.
We've seen a lot of incredible plays, but there are also a lot who suffered a loss early on and were not able to proceed further. For some players, they had to sit out the majority of the season due to various reasons, most of them concerning an injury, and one of them is Houston Rockets' John Wall. Words have been going around if Wall will leave the Rockets or not. Tune in to find out. How you guys doing? Have you been vaccinated yet? Welcome back to our channel, wherein once again the topic of today's episode, we'll be talking about Houston Rockets' John Wall. Will he leave the Rockets or not? Find out more by watching today's video. One more thing, before we get to that, kindly leave the thumbs up on today's video, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss out on our newest uploads. Who is John Wall? Jonathan Hildred Wall Jr. is an American professional basketball player who serves as the point guard for the Houston Rockets. He's a five-time NBA All-Star and was named to the All-NBA team in 2017. Wall was chosen with the first overall pick of the 2010 NBA Draft by the Washington Wizards after playing 1 year of college basketball for the Kentucky Wildcats. Again, born Jonathan Hildred Wall Jr. on September 6, 1990 in Raleigh, North Carolina, and grew up in poverty with his mother working multiple jobs to support him and his half-sister. His father died of liver cancer at the age of 52, so Wall had no father figure to guide, thus having attitude and behavioral problems back then. Despite his behavioral problems, there's no denying Wall's talent for the sport. His transfer to Word of God Christian Academy in Raleigh proved to be beneficial for him, where he flourished under the guidance of his coach, Levy Beckwith. His college career consisted of him playing for the University of Kentucky and made his debut as a Wildcat during an exhibition game against the Clarion University of Pennsylvania. He led his team to a victory with 27 points and 9 assists in 28 games of playing time. In his collegiate debut at Kentucky versus Miami University, Wall made the game-winning shot with 0.5 seconds left on the clock to help then number 5 ranked Kentucky win. In April 2009, he announced that he will not be entering the 2009 NBA Draft, where he was expected to be the first player taken and would attend Kentucky instead. A year later, he decided to forego his final 3 seasons of collegiate eligibility and entered the 2010 NBA Draft, where he was expected to be the first overall selection for the Washington Wizards in April 2010 and finally signed with agent Dan Fegan the following month. Wall was named the most valuable player of the 2010 Las Vegas Summer League,
averaging 23.5 points, 7.8 assists, 4.0 rebounds, and 2.5 steals in 32.3 minutes per game.
As of the current season, he was traded to the Houston Rockets for Russell Westbrook on December 2nd, 2020. Is John Wall leaving Houston? Rumors of John Wall leaving Houston sparked on Instagram after the athlete took part in a poll held by Clutch City Nation in which users are asked if he will stay with the Rockets or leave them by way of a contract buyout. They asked, will John Wall get traded, bought out, or will he stay? With 2 options saying he will leave and the other, he will stay. Among the voters of the poll was the 5-time NBA All-Star himself, wherein he voted that he will be leaving. Of course, fans were shocked, but luckily, Wall quickly resolved the issue and commented on the post saying he'll stay with the team. Man, God ahead with that. I love H-Town and I want to stay here, the point guard commented, clearing the issue as to whether he'll leave Houston or not. It's not the first time that a player stated that he wants to stay then force his way out of the team, but for Wall, he's more likely to keep playing for the Rockets. To leave the team, he'd have to agree to a buyout with the Rockets, most likely giving up dozens of millions of dollars on the table. He still has 2 more years in his contract with the franchise, wherein he's expected to make over $9 million within that time frame. In a conversation with The Athletic back in April 2021, former NBA executive John Hollinger brought up a scenario where Wall could be bought out even sooner than expected. Do we think John Wall could get 2 years, $20 million in free agency right now? Hollinger asked. If he is the caliber of player who could still start for some teams, even with the health questions, that seems a fair price. Maybe even on the low side. And if so, does it make more sense for Houston to accept that haircut in a buyout deal with Wall rather than keeping him around for another year of nightly drubbings? Such an arrangement would be similar to Blake Griffin's with Detroit, except that Wall wouldn't even have to leave any money on the table. Hollinger added, Houston would lower its cap hit over the next 2 years from $92 million to roughly $72 million. And Tillman Fertitta would no doubt be elated that he could spread the payments over 5 seasons. Wall sitting out the rest of the NBA season due to injury. On April 26, 2021, it was reported by The Athletic's Shams Charania that John Wall would be sitting out the rest of the NBA season due to his hamstring injury. ESPN's Tim McMahon reports that the Houston Rockets point guard has suffered a grade 2 strain. He only managed to play 40 games this season with the Houston Rockets and averaged over 20 points per game. Since Wall is locked into the Rockets, he needs to live up to his contract, and it's no secret that the team will favor favor the younger player's development. The point guard may have to sit out a long while for full recovery, so we need to keep a close tab on this situation. After all, the Houston Rockets did take a huge risk when they traded Russell Westbrook for John Wall in the past offseason. These two players had a negative trade value because of their contracts and a decline in production. For Westbrook, his age was the culprit behind his struggle, whereas Wall has a long list of injuries under his name that prevented him from being at his top condition in the past 4 seasons. The idea behind why the Rockets decided to gamble on Wall's health over the certainty of Westbrook's healthy decline phase is that there was a belief that a healthy John Wall had a better chance at getting back to his best. After all, Wall is still only 30 years old, and when he was lastly fully healthy, he made an All-NBA team. So what are these injuries Wall has sustained over the years? Let's go over them now. One of these injuries took place during the 2016-2017 season when news came about that he'll need his left knee to be scoped sometime during the season, which was also the first telltale sign of a long list of injuries. It didn't help that most of his injuries involved his legs too. As far as the Rockets were concerned, a long list of leg injuries was alarming since his contract is still in effect. From that season alone, John Wall has missed more games due to injuries he's played. Over this period, Wall's team has played a total of 286 games, while he has suited up for a total of 105 of them. It didn't help that most of his injuries involved his legs too. He has had 5 left knee injuries, 2 right knee injuries, and 1 heel and Achilles injury. These have amounted to 5 separate surgeries, with the 6th surgery coming sometime later this year. The Houston Rockets took a risk that after staying away from the NBA basketball team for 18 months, Wall would make a healthy comeback and can physically handle the rigors and strain of the NBA season, but because of the packed nature for 2020-2021, maybe too much for the point guard that worsened his injury problems. The Rockets will need to manage Wall's body to get the best out of him going forward. His contract is going nowhere, and getting the most out of him is the only way they'll have a chance to move him in the future. If they can't find a way to manage Wall's minutes, then a 7th surgery is likely headed his way. Injuries are the worst part of professional sports, with their influence looming over every franchise at every moment. Hopefully the Rockets and Wall can find a way to keep him on the court. And with that, we're concluding today's episode on whether or not John Wall will leave Houston's. Hopefully you enjoyed watching today's video as much as we did making it. Before you go, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss any of our new releases. We've got a lot of other interesting videos up on our channel for you to choose from. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you on the next one.